found this red box marked Siemens Austria in a 1914 house. Inside are small gold pins that spin when I pull a red cord. They look slightly offset, like they're meant to wind something. Any idea what this could be? This item is a razor blade sharpener, specifically designed for double-edged safety razor blades. These devices were popular before disposable blades became cheap and widely available. The gold pins inside are meant to hold the blade in place by fitting through the two central holes found in most traditional razor blades. Once the blade is secured on the pins, closing the red case presses the sharpening surfaces snugly against both edges of the blade. When you pull the red cord, the mechanism inside rotates the blade in a small, controlled, circular motion. This motion ensures both sides of the blade are sharpened evenly, restoring the edge for multiple uses. The craftsmanship and mechanical simplicity made these sharpeners a common bathroom accessory in the mid-20th century, especially in Europe, where quality blades were reused rather than thrown away. Came across this strange item while helping a friend clean out an old house. It almost looks like a rock tumbler, but I can't figure it out. Anyone recognize it? What you found is a miniature steam engine toy, specifically the Walesko D6 model, which gained popularity in the 1960s. These small-scale machines were more than just toys, they were fully functional steam engines, powered by real heat. To operate one, you'd fill the polished, nickel-plated brass boiler with water, place a solid Esbit fuel tablet underneath, and light it. As the water heated and turned to steam, the engine would begin to run, driving an oscillating cylinder in smooth motion. The D6 model also includes a small sight glass so you can monitor the water level during use. A thoughtful detail that reflects its precision engineering. These engines were a popular way to introduce children to the mechanics of steam power. I found this strange chain with two interlocking handles in my grandfather's old army toolbox. He served as a military police officer in the 1950s. Could it be some kind of military police gear? What you found is a vintage police restraint tool known as a chain nipper, or come-along, used in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Patented in 1884 by E.D. Bean, this device featured two T-shaped handles connected by a chain. It was designed to restrain individuals before modern handcuffs became standard. An officer would loop the chain around a person's wrist and twist the handles to create tension and control. These tools were once used by police and military units, including military police in the mid-20th century. I spotted this strange leather and metal box in the Gwalia Ghost Town Museum near Leonora, a mining town in Western Australia. It has a handle, a button, and a transparent panel. Any idea what it might have been used for? This item is an early 20th century railway fare box, a portable device used by train conductors to collect money from passengers. This type of fare box was manufactured by the Coleman Company, based in Tottenham starting around 1905. A patent for the design was filed in 1903 by Joseph Henry Coleman, outlining a simple but secure fare collection mechanism. Passengers would drop their payment into a slot at the top of the box. When the railway worker pressed a button near the handle, the money would drop into a locked compartment below, safely storing the fares until the end of the shift. The transparent panel let both the passenger and the conductor see the money before it was secured. I found this heavy cast iron tool with a handle that turns. It feels solid and old, but I have no idea what it was used for. Any guesses? What you found is a newspaper log roller, a clever manual tool once used to turn old newspapers into fire-starting logs. It was a popular household item in the mid-20th century, especially during times when recycling and self-sufficiency were part of daily life. The process was simple: fold sheets of newspaper to fit the width of the device, insert the edge into the central slot, and start turning the crank. As you rolled, each new sheet was tucked under the flap of the previous one, creating a tight, log-shaped bundle. Once complete, the paper log could be used to start a fire and would typically burn for 10 to 15 minutes, long enough to get a wood-burning stove or fireplace going. I found this weathered metal object on the bar counter at work. It's hollow, has a hole in the back, and says Coca-Cola on top. It's about 4 inches wide. Could it be related to bottles or drinks? What you found is the base of an old-fashioned countertop bottle opener, once a common sight in bars and pubs. This heavy metal piece served as a counterweight, keeping the opener stable while bottles were opened quickly and one-handed. The hollow design and hole in the back were meant to hold a detachable opener mechanism, which appears to be missing in your case. The Coca-Cola branding helps narrow down the age, since the logo says "Drink Coca-Cola." It likely predates 1969, the year Coca-Cola changed its slogan to "Enjoy Coca-Cola." So while it may look unremarkable at first glance, this object is a fragment of vintage bar equipment. What is this mercury-filled object in an old chemistry lab? It has 3 copper wires surrounded by ceramic. Any idea what it might have been used for? This item is a 3-position mercury tilt switch, a specialized electrical component commonly used in industrial machinery. These devices are designed to detect changes in angle or position and activate different circuits depending on the direction of tilt. Inside the housing is a small amount of mercury, which shifts as the device moves, completing a circuit based on its position. The 3 copper wires are most likely arranged with the center acting as a common neutral, while the 2 outer wires connect to separate circuits. Depending on which direction the device tilts, the mercury makes contact with one of those outer terminals. The ceramic insulation around the wires is likely made from high-temperature salamander ceramic beads, used in environments where plastic would melt or degrade. The small screw in the corner likely served as a grounding point. Though now considered outdated, these switches were once valued for their simplicity and reliable contact-free operation. I found this odd tool in my garage. A brass tube with notches, a copper rod, and a wooden handle. One end has a blue coating that looks like ink. Any idea what it was used for? This item is most likely an old wand curler, a vintage hairstyling tool that predates modern electric curling irons. It was commonly used from the late 1800s through the mid-1900s. The notched brass tube was designed to hold a strand of hair, which would be wrapped around it. The copper rod, once heated over a stove or open flame, was then inserted into the tube to transfer heat and set the curl. Unlike today's electric curlers, this tool required careful handling. Too much heat could easily burn the hair. The blue residue on one end may be leftover product, or a heat-reactive ink once used as a temperature indicator. Wand curlers like this were favored for creating tight, structured curls that could last for days. What is this metal spring device that looks like tongs holding 2 red glass balls? The balls can be removed and the whole thing is just over 3 inches long. Any idea what it is? This item is a Kenberry blade sharpener, a clever little device from the early 20th century used to extend the life of razor blades. It became especially popular during the Great Depression, when disposable items were a luxury and people looked for ways to make everything last longer. The red glass balls are actually part of the sharpener's design. The curved glass mimicked the inside of a mug, which many people used to strop their blades at home. Instead of traditional honing, the Kenberry sharpener allowed users to gently press and draw the blade across the curved surface, realigning the edge and removing small rust spots. This method worked particularly well for the carbon steel blades used before 1960, which dulled quickly and were prone to rust. It wasn't until the introduction of coated blades like the Gillette Super Blue that tools like this began to disappear. We found this odd gold-plated speaker with a clip and 2-prong cord in a donation bin. It even has a decorative horse made of opal-like material. We recycle old glasses and hearing aids. Could this be related to one of those? This item is most likely an old Beltone hearing aid microphone from the 1960s. The gold-plated piece with a short cord and 2-prong connector was part of a vintage body-worn hearing aid system, designed to be clipped discreetly to a person's clothing. The decorative clip with the opal-like horse wasn't just for flair, it helped keep the microphone in place, often tucked inside a blouse or shirt near the chest. One person who saw a similar device recalled how their grandmother used it. She would clip the microphone inside her blouse and hold the telephone upside down, placing the phone's earpiece near the microphone on her chest and the mouthpiece near her mouth. I found this tool in my grandma's basement while clearing out her things. It has a red caoutchouc piece and might be related to bottles. She lived in colonial Congo, so it could be from there. Any idea what it is? What you found is a milking nipple retractor, a specialized tool once used in early mechanical milking systems. Back then, the rubber sleeves that fit around a cow's teats weren't pre-shaped. They were simple, flexible tubes made of natural rubber. To attach them securely without injuring the udder, farmers had to carefully fold the ends of these tubes over the metal milking nozzles. While this could be done by hand, it was slow and awkward. This tool made the job faster, safer, and more consistent. The red rubber part helped grip and stretch the rubber sleeve during setup. Since the sleeves had to be removed and cleaned after each milking session, this tool saw regular use on dairy farms. After World War II, pre-molded rubber liners became standard, and devices like this faded into obscurity. I've got an old-fashioned bottle and can opener with a red plastic tip at the bottom. I've seen others like it for years, but I still don't know what that color tip is for. Any ideas? This item is a vintage bottle and can opener from the 1970s. Starting in the 1930s, most beer and soda cans were made of steel with completely flat tops. To open them, people used a separate tool known as a church key, which would puncture the lid to create a hole for drinking or pouring. By the 1970s, manufacturers introduced a new style of can called the push tab. These had two pre-scored openings, one for airflow and a larger one for drinking. The goal was to make cans easier to open without additional tools, but the design had a flaw. The tabs frequently left behind sharp metal edges that could easily cut fingers. That's exactly what this opener was made for. The red plastic tip was designed to safely press down the tabs without needing to touch the metal directly, helping users avoid injury. In the last video, I showed you this object and asked if you could guess what it was. A few people took a shot, but unfortunately, no one got it right. It's a thread protector for a pool cue. It fits over the joint to keep it from getting damaged during transport. Thanks to everyone who joined in and shared their guesses. Now I want to invite you to help identify another mysterious object. I found this rusty metal piece about a foot wide with two handles and rows of sharp spikes. It looks like it's been around for decades. What do you think this item is? Leave your guesses in the comments and I'll reveal the answer in the next video.